Hello everyone, this is Shelby with Shelby Creations and welcome back to the Dragon's Den. Let's talk about supplies. I know when I go to work in my journal, I like to have the things around me that I want to use. And of course the main thing is paper. And I could start with, these were from DigiKits. And I print them out and we can see it's got the edging all the way around it. But I'm not going to use a whole piece of paper like this in my journal. So what I want to do is, first thing I do is I want to come down here and trim off my edges. Now, am I worried that they're not straight? No. Because they'll end up getting bits and pieces taken off of them, through the whole process. So I want to bring these down to a size that's comfortable for me to use, which means getting rid of the edges first thing, because I don't want to be bothered with those. Around here. Now this is still too big. So I want it smaller, and I can either do it in strips, or in this case I'm just going to do it each piece in half, so that I've got basically making a quarter out of the page. Am I worried that they're uneven edges? No. But those are my stack. Now on this one here, it's got different elements that I may want to use pieces of, and they have to be in the middle of the page. Well, is that going to bother me? No. Get this straight. I'm just going to get rid of all these edges that didn't print all the way to. And sometimes our printer will do small edges, sometimes certain ones will do a wider edge, and you can lose anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to up to 1/2 an inch. Now, I know at some point I want to use this part here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and just take that section off. And not knowing where I may want this, I may leave it like this, for now, but it'll come out, it'll end up getting smaller. So there's 2 pieces. Now I've done some already, and let me see if I can pull my pile out here. And they're, as you can see, they're all different shapes, sizes, because they were different sizes of paper, different things that I use. And just see about getting these in somewhat of a size order. Now see, I may use that across a page, or this part, or just the flower. It all depends on, what I'm working on. So there's a nice little stack of pages. Now, another thing we can use are calendar pages. This one here is from our local Asian Mart, and it's, I think, the Chinese calendar, and it's the Year of the Rabbit, but there's different aspects on here that I like and I know I'll use. So I'm just going to come down here and remove this into strips. Well, I don't want that one there. Let's go this way, because I like part of that top. Now this is a very thin paper, and then the rest of it in the numbers, I'm just going to divide that in half and put this in with my other stack of papers, and then I've got the longer strips. Let me see if I can even break that down a little bit further, so I don't have anything too long in my pile. So, there's that one. Now, I have a place where I put my papers. And it's in this little tiered wooden thing here. I'm not sure if you can, see it in there, but all I'm going to do is just take these and stick them right in there. So I've got them to pull through. And then here is, now I can sit here and rifle through my papers. Sometimes that's the fun of it. Now, let's see if I can put this back in its place without knocking everything over. Something else that, and I forgot I had these, are the Tim Holtz collage papers. I was cleaning out a drawer because, it's my annual cleaning time. And I found a stash of them. Now, out of all of these, only 2 had been opened. So evidently I bought them and just stuck them aside. So what I did from that is I pulled a section, just unrolled a little piece of each one. And now I've got these that I can, just tear off pieces here and there. I may like that number. I may like this flower, the bird, whatever. But I've got these also that, I can pull different parts from. So that's another thing. So I've got that in with my papers. If you've watched a couple of videos ago, you saw me make paper clips, altered paper clips. I've got a nice little stash of them here. So those are ready to go. And of course, my usual scrap bin. As you can see, I've got tissue in here. I've got parts of the Tim Holtz papers. I've got books, other little scrap papers, music paper. Any little thing that I've torn off a piece of, that's in here because I'll use this. Another thing is, in that part where I have the papers, there's a drawer. And in the drawer, I have different pieces of lace. I may cut off a piece, I may use a little piece, big piece, whatever, but I've got a nice little section here that I put in here just to add something to it. Now, you may think, that, there's a lot of stuff going on. And there is, because, as I said, I cleaned off my desk, and these are all the bits and pieces that I had laying all over the place. So now I've organized them. I've got a little box here that, you've seen this before. I just put washi tape around it to sort of hold it in place. And these are all those little odds and ends that didn't get put away. Instead, they just got shoved to the side, and I got tired of shoving them to the side. So they're in here. Another thing is stickers. And I use my Xyron to make my stickers. I had a Cricut. I had the hardest time trying to figure out how to use that thing. I gave up. And this to me is a lot easier. So, I've got some in here that, are fussy cuts that I made stickers out of. I've got stamps, canceled stamps that I've separated from the backing and run those through the Xyron. And one thing I learned with using my Xyron over the years that I've had it is, if you feed things through and you wait for it to come out, you're going to waste a lot of sticky tape. To give you an example, let me go ahead and peel the top of this off. Because when you run it through, what you need to do is burnish the top and then turn it over and burnish the bottom. At least that's what I do, and it seems to work a lot better for me, because then they seem to stick a lot better. Then I can't get the top off. I knew I shouldn't have burnished all the way down. Here we go. So then after you've burnished, you peel the top off. Ooh, that one came off with the top. That happens. Just stick it back down. It will come off. Well, usually. I'm going to just go ahead and cut this here. I'll fiddle with it when I'm off camera. But I usually just peel it all off. But if you're not careful, look how much I've got wasted here. So that could have been a whole nother sticker there. You know, so what I start doing is putting them two at a time, closer together, and I figured out that, yeah, and it took me a while. It's taking me this long to figure it out. Do you see how these are nicely spaced together? And they're almost right there on top of each other. What I do is, usually they tell you to, you put it in here and you pull out here. And when you see it, you know, you put in the other piece. But you're still left with that piece. What I do is I look in this way, and when I see that I can't see my paper no more, that is closed completely over it, then I'll put another piece in. And that leaves me with a very slender gap, which is easier to deal with, and then I'm not wasting all that tape. And see, this was at the end of the roll, so not all of that stuck. But there is a whole line I have now of more stickers. And I have found with junk journaling that I like using stickers. My favorite are the vellum stickers. Alright, see that problem one? That's what it is. There's something. There we go. All taken care of. And now all I have to do is sit here and cut them apart and add them to my little pile. Now this one is a little close. No problem. And then I go on before I know it. I've got another container of stickers. And it can be, yeah. This one here went off the edge a little bit. It's not a problem. If I need to, I can add a little bit of glue to that one later. But now I've got stickers that I know I'll use. Because how many times do we buy a package of stickers and we still got some that we don't use? And there we go. Bunch of wonderful, wonderful stickers. So I'll cut those up and put those in here. And then so now I've got stickers, I've got paper clips, I've got scraps, I've got ribbon and lace, I've got my little bits and pieces, and I've got my paper. And I have it all sitting right here where I can grab and go. So that now when I pull out, I find out what I did with it. Oh, there it is. I was so busy getting things ready, I misplaced my journal. So now I can come in here, and I think there was one that, yes, this one here. I don't like using maps, but for some reason, I ended up putting a map page in here. But that's not a problem, because now we can figure out what we're going to do with it. So, I'm come over here. I'm going to put my clip on this side to hold my page down. And then I don't really need one on there, but I've got another clip here. And I was thinking about starting off with just my doily here. And I'm going to open that up. And all I'm going to do is put my glue. See, I got all ready and did not fill up my glue bottle. Put some glue right around there and on that crease. I'm not worrying about having it over on this part because that'll end up getting covered up. Put that in place and just press that down. Now, I do have a piece of this, one of the Tim Holtz papers, and this is, it says it's tissue paper, but it's almost like it's got a waxy feel to one side. And I did want this down here. Put this on. And I'm going to put this right over that part of the doily. And I want it on the top part, because I don't mind this, the way this looks down here, but I didn't care about that part of the map. Now here, smooth that out. Now we don't always have to have a pocket or a tuck or whatever on every page that we're working on. And I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but I haven't done any inking on this page yet. And I may not. Not every page needs ink. Put that up there. No. Let's put this one down here. I mean, just because I have a map there doesn't mean I have to use it. Now let's see, what have we got in our stickers? I've got a pink one. Ooh, I like that. This came off of the back of a letter I got recently. But this I am going to go right around the edge just a little bit. Because even though it's blue, I do want it a little bit darker. Because I love the cardinals on this. You know, someone asked me, how do you know if you've done enough on a page? It will feel complete. It'll feel done. Let's go there. You'll know. I do want the pink on here though. Peel that up. And then all I have to do is figure out which way is up on here. This way is up. I'll stick that right up there in that corner. And then to end this one off, very simply, I'm just going to reach up, and I need a side one. Which one will come in on the side here? Is that one? No, that's still top. This one will do. And then I've got the lace that'll bring out the doily. I'll just put my paper clip on there. And call that page done. So now I can come here and finish this side. I can actually put, maybe I'll do a flip to cover up the paper clip. But I'll decide about that later. So as for now, another page done in our journal, and we're already set and ready to go. Good way to start off our week. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and come back and join me for some more crafty goodness. Bye, guys!